Danny Miller was born with 2 strong, healthy legs. And if he had known about the one food that kills diabetes, he might be walking today. But late last year, doctors took a knife to his right leg, amputated half of it, and left Danny with a stump for the rest of his life. That's because Danny was one of 9 million Americans who have type 2 diabetes, but don't know it. Danny only discovered his diabetes after he went to his doctor complaining of pain in his foot and leg. That's when he was diagnosed. But by then it was too late. His out-of-control blood sugar had been rampaging for years inside his body, pummeling the delicate blood vessels in his limbs. Until his circulation got so bad his leg had to be amputated or it would have literally rotted. Hi, I'm Dr. Marlene Merritt, director of the Merritt Wellness Center in Austin, Texas, and author of the monthly health letter, Dr. Merritt's Natural Health Connections. When I heard about Danny, I counted my blessings that I was able to spot my blood sugar problems in time. And how lucky I am that I discovered how one tasty food can stop diabetes in its tracks. In places where this food is regularly eaten, diabetes and obesity are virtually unknown. But when they've stopped eating it, the rates of diabetes and obesity skyrocket. This food ends sugar cravings, melts away fat, and delivers long-lasting energy without spiking your blood sugar. But chances are, you won't hear a doctor mention it. That's why stories like Danny's are becoming more common every day. By the way, Danny is a real person from Texas, but I changed his name to protect his privacy. If you've been diagnosed with diabetes, I know how frustrating it can be, because nobody wants to end up with amputations or blindness or kidney failure or heart disease or stroke or any of the other painful complications and diseases that are closely linked to out-of-control blood sugar, even cancer and Alzheimer's. We're ready to do whatever our doctor tells us. Take the meds, count the carbs, test our levels constantly, and that's when we realize, when you live with diabetes, suddenly it's like you have a second full-time job. But instead of paying you, this extra job drains hundreds of dollars a month in test strips, lancet needles, insulin shots, medication, extra lab tests, and those panicky races to the emergency room if you get too low. And most people don't understand, even well-meaning friends and family. They might sigh in frustration when you go out to a restaurant and you take a few extra minutes to scour the menu, looking for something that won't send your blood glucose skyrocketing. You know what they're thinking. Geez, all you need to do is lose a few pounds. With a little discipline, then your diabetes would vanish in a heartbeat. That's what I would do. As if it were that easy. They don't know what a challenge it is to keep your blood sugar in check. They don't know what it's like to wake up every morning with a rigid schedule of testing your levels, exercising, eating before your blood sugar gets too low, taking tablets, testing, making sure you have a healthy lunch prepared before you leave the door, testing again at work, taking another tablet, making sure you replace your lancet and your expensive test strips, and even your endo may not be much help. Giving meager advice about diet, don't eat sweets, stuffing a pamphlet in your face as he's watching the clock for his next patient, forcing you to look for information yourself, so you turn to the internet. And when you can avoid the horror photos of amputations and gangrenous blackened fingers, you're flooded with confusing information, much of it contradicting each other. Well, if you've experienced anything like this, it doesn't have to be this way. As I said, I'm Dr. Marlene, and in this video, I'm going to share my plan for how you can have healthy blood sugar and even reverse your type 2 diabetes just by making a few simple changes to the way you eat and move. This solution for healthy blood sugar control works by flipping one tiny switch inside the cells of your body. Flipping this switch even helps type 2 diabetics get off drugs and insulin injections, as you'll see in a moment. Just like John Hyatt was able to do, he completely eliminated his insulin shots in just 3 days. John told us,
I was using long-acting insulin in addition to all my oral meds, but it still wasn't working very well. I was still pretty sick with really high numbers between 2 and 275. And then that's when one Sunday I was given the offer to read this if you want to control your diabetes. So that Sunday night I ate my first meal and I got up in the morning. My blood sugar was 80 points lower than it normally was. The next morning I woke up and I'm probably another 40 points. I'm not going to give myself a shot of insulin tonight. I'm going to bed and I'm already 100 points less than what I normally am. That was my last day that I was on insulin. So I've now been off insulin for 3 months. This program works.
John's pretty happy that he's done sticking himself with a needle twice a day. He's also grinning about all the money he's saving, money that used to go out of pocket to pay for insulin. to the tune of $400 a month. As John put it, that adds up to a Hawaii vacation each year. And John's not alone. Charles W. from Waco, Texas, cut down on his insulin and completely eliminated one of his meds. He told us, "My doctor eliminated one medication, Invokana, and lowered my Levemir insulin from 52 units twice a day to 40 units twice a day. I also have all but stopped injecting Humalog at meals. Dr. Marlene's solution has been a godsend to me." And Robert C. from Canton, North Carolina, who wrote to tell me, "My A1C was 6.9, down from previous visits 7.4, weight down 6 pounds. My doctor took me off Lantus. Blood glucose readings are mostly within normal range, all from using the Dr. Marlene's solution. These kinds of results will stun your doctor." Like Warlen B. from Mountain View, Arkansas discovered. He said, "My doctor had to cut my insulin dosages in half because my blood sugars have gone so low. I went from an A1C of 6.9 to one of 6.3 in 12 weeks, and I was only using Dr. Marlene's solution for the final 6 of those 12 weeks. He says he never heard of such a thing. I also lost 11 pounds in that same period, the only time in the last 30 years I've been able to lose any substantial weight. I brag about your plan to everyone I know. It works and it's so easy. In fact, my diabetes solution is so easy, 81-year-old Richard H. from Cooks, Michigan, says you can do this in your head. He writes, "If you don't like lots of record keeping and you don't want to have to buy exotic foods, you can do this plan in your head. My doctor was very happy with the results. I have also lost 5 pounds, and he said I am in the best health since I started seeing him some 5 years ago. I just celebrated my 81st birthday. Thanks for helping me get my health back." All these people were amazed how simple it is to flip their blood sugar switch, just like I was when I put it to work for myself. This solution rescued me from the threat of diabetes. And in today's free presentation, I'm going to show you exactly how to flip this switch using one tasty shortcut. So keep watching because I think you're going to love it. My patients rave about it. One reason why it continues to work for them year after year is that you don't have to deprive yourself. You won't have to toss out your bread, pasta, or other carbs, because this is not a carb elimination plan. When you eat carbs like I do, you don't have to worry about spiking your blood sugar. You won't have to trudge to the gym for 60-minute cardio sessions. You won't need iron willpower to make it work. You won't go hungry. And best of all, you won't be putting any nasty chemicals into your body because this solution is 100% natural. And when you watch this video to the end, I'm also going to spill the beans about a 60-second trick to instant lower blood sugar I use when I want to indulge in a sugary treat, like this slice of blackberry pie. And this has nothing to do with drowning your food in cinnamon or taking cold showers or any silly gimmick you might have seen on the internet. It's just solid science. This trick has been proven to lower blood glucose for up to 24 hours after eating, so make sure you pay close attention. You may even want to grab a pen and paper, because the free information in this video could be taken down at any time. First, a little bit about me. I'm Dr. Marlene Merritt, and I help my neighbors here in Texas reverse chronic illnesses like type 2 diabetes with natural solutions. Because I believe that drugs and surgery should only be used as a last resort. But in today's corporate-driven healthcare system, drugs are often the only solution that overworked doctors resort to. I believe there's a better way. Most sugar problems, including type 2 diabetes, can be solved with a natural approach. But I have to admit, I didn't always know this. It embarrasses me a little to admit it, but I nearly had to wreck my own blood sugar to discover this cure. 10 years ago, I started noticing some bizarre problems with my energy level and mood. And though I didn't realize it at first, these were the advanced warning signs of blood sugar problems that, if left unchecked, could put me on the fast track to a diabetes diagnosis. Maybe you were hit with some of the same symptoms long before doctors started throwing the D word around. Symptoms like being tired all the time, especially that afternoon slump that sends you racing for coffee at 2:30. Lack of focus and frequent irritability. Not a fun time for my husband. Weight gain that sticks around or comes back no matter how many diets or sit-ups you try. Intense sugar cravings and a strong need to eat every 2 or 3 hours. These are all SOS signals from your body, waving a red flag that your blood sugar control is breaking down, even though it may take years before it shows up on blood tests like a fasting glucose or an A1C, which is why 1 in 4 type 2 diabetics don't even know they have the disease. That's 8 million Americans walking around right now without a clue that their body's metabolism has turned against them, pummeling their sensitive nerves and organs year after year, until, in many cases, they literally cannot walk anymore. when their out-of-control blood sugar has destroyed their limbs. So the only solution left is for their doctors to slip out a bone saw and slice off a foot, just like Willie Campbell experienced. But what really sent a shiver down my spine was when I learned about the hidden link between diabetes and the two modern epidemics that are destroying the lives and the dignity of too many of our loved ones: cancer and Alzheimer's disease. And that's because, first, cancer tumors feast on excess blood sugar to grow bigger and bigger. Harvard Medical School's Cancer Center Director Lewis Cantley indicated that up to 80% of all human cancers have poor glucose and insulin control as instigating factors. And for Alzheimer's, the link is even stronger, which is why mainstream medicine has now begun calling Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes. In fact, it's been found that type 2 diabetics age 60 and over are twice as likely to succumb to Alzheimer's than non-diabetics. And that's because poor glucose and insulin control is thought to contribute to the sticky plaque-like protein formations responsible for Alzheimer's, a disease that's a living nightmare to the victim and the family. Imagine waking up to your spouse of 50 years who gapes at you in confusion and stammers, "Who are you?" So I was lucky to have my medical training when my blood sugar problems started, because it gave me the tools to cut through the tangled advice surrounding diabetes and discover the solution to my problems. I admit I was taken down several false paths, like falling for the bureaucratic hype that the government-created food pyramid was the road to health. But as my health got worse, I dug deeper, and I was shocked to learn that more Americans developed type 2 diabetes during the years of the food pyramid from 1980 to 2012 than ever before, a whopping 166% increase of recorded cases. Thankfully, I also discovered the work of a few maverick researchers, like the endocrinologist Robert Lustig of the University of California, who challenged the received wisdom and discovered the truths about the effects of the so-called SAD, the standard American diet. And that revealed the missing piece that can flip the switch I told you about a moment ago. The moment I discovered this, I applied it to my life, and the results came fast. I went from sneaking in naps between my patients, just to make it through the day, to feeling more energy than I had since my teenage years. I could feel my blood sugar dropping, and I knew it wasn't just me, because this switch solution has been tested in randomized studies on type 2 diabetics with unmistakable results. In one study, 95.2% of the participants dropped their blood glucose so much that they significantly reduced or outright eliminated their blood sugar medications. And insulin doses for these diabetics also plummeted, with half of the participants eliminating their insulin shots completely. And as an added bonus, the participants lost an average of 24.47 pounds. And another study witnessed 9 out of 10 participants significantly reduced their medications, with 4 of those 9 getting off all their drugs and insulin. Can you imagine how it would feel to toss out your blood sugar drugs forever, or never have to start taking them in the first place? Imagine freeing yourself from their expense and painful side effects. Everything from the annoying, like the diarrhea, headache, and vomiting that's common with metformin, to the potentially fatal, like bladder cancer, which has been so closely linked to the popular diabetes drug Actos that France and Germany have yanked off the market. Actos has also been implicated in heart failure, causing the FDA to crack down with their strongest warning. Every box of Actos sold must now display a black box warning label. And it's not just the side effects. Imagine ending the anxiety of checking your blood sugar levels 5 times a day with painful pinpricks and expensive glucose test strips. Or never having to poke another insulin needle into your skin. Now, to be clear, I don't recommend my patients go off their meds cold turkey. Instead, I work with them to lower their blood sugar naturally until their doctor happily cancels their prescriptions. I'm not against drugs when they're medically necessary, but oftentimes they're not, because drugs only treat the symptoms. Sure, in some cases, a drug like metformin can nudge a bit more blood sugar out of your bloodstream, but this brute force approach doesn't heal the underlying cause of the disease, which means you get stuck on drugs for life. Plus, for many people, the drugs stop working over time as their bodies adapt to these foreign substances, so they're forced on higher and higher doses, or even get a one-way ticket to the drug merry-go-round, trying out a new drug every few months and sampling a new load of side effects in the bargain. Too many people live like this, and it just isn't necessary, especially when there's a solution that's safe, effective, and actually enjoyable. Because one of the loopholes of my solution is that I get to enjoy foods that used to be off limits, like this juicy steak with melted garlic butter, or this crispy strip of bacon. Food that programs my body to burn sugar instead of letting it run loose in my body. So now I don't have to worry about succumbing to diabetes or spiking my blood sugar every time I eat a meal. I don't get hungry every 3 hours, and I don't struggle against sugar cravings. And that's because I've learned how to flip the blood sugar switch that controls my blood sugar, my weight, and my energy levels. This blood sugar switch is built into every cell in your body, and it determines whether you have blood sugar problems or you don't. When this switch is on, blood sugar flows into your cells, giving you a steady supply of energy all day long. But when this switch is off, blood sugar is locked out of your cells, which leads to a dangerous buildup of it in your bloodstream. And for far too many of us, our switch gets stuck in the off position after years of exposure to the standard American diet and high levels of carbs. As you may know, once carbs hit your body, they break down into glucose, or blood sugar, to be burned in your cells as energy. But glucose can't get into the cells by itself. It needs an escort, the hormone insulin. Insulin, a storage hormone released by the pancreas, pulls the glucose out of your bloodstream and pushes it into your cells, where the glucose is burned for energy. But for some of us, a weird problem develops. That prevents us from burning glucose for energy. After years of too many carbs, our bodies overreact and start to release too much insulin at every meal. And when this goes unchecked for several years, your cells begin to ignore insulin. This is called insulin resistance, and that's when your blood sugar switch gets stuck in the off position, locking out glucose, forcing your pancreas to pump out even more insulin. But this just triggers even more insulin resistance. And so it goes on in a downward spiral, until finally your pancreas gets cooked and the flow of insulin slows to a trickle, which means all that extra glucose pools up in your bloodstream. And that's when glucose degrades from a useful energy source to a deadly poison. Because when glucose is free to roam through your bloodstream, it's like a corrosive acid, slowly breaking down your body, one organ at a time. Like when it destroys the tiny capillaries in your eyes and you go blind. And it bursts the blood vessels in your kidneys, causing total kidney failure. So you're chained to a dialysis machine 3 times a week for the rest of your life, or pray for a transplant. And this rampant glucose restricts blood circulation to the point that your feet need to be amputated. Diabetics suffer from more non-accident amputations than anyone else. But these problems can be completely avoided simply by flipping our blood sugar switch back to the on position. Here's how. Follow this one simple tip starting today, and you'll unlock an abundant source of new energy and feel fantastic, maybe for the first time in years. This energy source is one that you've probably been deprived of because of years of misinformation and slow as molasses government policy. But it is absolutely necessary for life, and it's also extremely delicious. I'm talking about dietary fat, like the kind found in butter, eggs, cheese, olives, red meat, and fresh fish. Fat is a great fuel for your body because it is extremely energy dense. Every gram of fat has 2.25 times more energy than a gram of carbohydrate. And contrary to a long-standing myth, fat doesn't clog up your arteries. Most important, this energy source doesn't flood your body with insulin, which is why adding fat into your diet is critical to reversing insulin resistance and halting dangerous blood sugar spikes. In fact, when a group of overweight type 2 diabetic patients added fat back into their diets, their sensitivity to insulin increased by an amazing 75% in just 2 weeks. And here's something you'll really love. Even though the participants were eating more fat, they actually lost weight, with an average of 3.6 pounds lost in 14 days. That's almost 1 pound every 4 days. That's right. When you eat more fat, you burn more fat. And that's because you only burn fat once insulin is out of your bloodstream. Insulin, in addition to storing glucose, also stores fat. It's a storage hormone, so it stores everything. So once you stop those dangerous insulin surges, your body is free to fire up its fat-burning furnaces again. One other result that might shock you is how this change in eating began to lower their risk for heart disease, because their triglycerides, a key marker for heart disease, dropped by 35% and overall cholesterol by 10% in this same 2-week time period. And that's because dietary fat, including saturated fat, doesn't clog your arteries. For example, in a landmark study that examined 347,747 people over 23 years, no link was found between saturated fat intake and heart disease and stroke. Fat also makes food taste good, so you don't crave added sugar. Fat makes you feel full, so you don't want to overeat. It activates the hormone leptin, your body's I'm full signal, and fat repairs your body. It helps to rebuild cell walls. And here's something else. You must have enough fat to absorb essential nutrients and vitamins. For example, your body cannot absorb vitamins A, D, K, or E without fat. So it doesn't matter how many IUs of vitamin D you gobble down if you don't get enough fat. So yes, it's time to eat. Creamy butter instead of artificial spread. Real crispy bacon. And pour cream in your coffee instead of tasteless skim milk. Ugh. And imagine how easy it is to enjoy vegetables again when you smother your next helping of green beans in butter. When you restore fat to your diet, you'll start eating as your ancestors did and feel the difference in your renewed energy and see it in your lower blood sugar levels. And once you combine eating fat with the other cornerstones of my healthy blood sugar plan, you'll have a powerful arsenal at your fingertips to destroy the scourge of diabetes and high blood sugar once and for all. And here's how. I've gathered my entire plan for healthy blood sugar and fashioned it into a step-by-step guide called Smart Blood Sugar, Healthy Blood Sugar for Life. This is the simple plan you've been waiting for because it cuts through the confusing and contradictory information out there by zeroing in on the exact steps you can take today to heal your blood sugar for good. Inside its pages, you'll find strategies, tools, and dozens of tips on how to fix your blood sugar and reverse type 2 diabetes without relying on drugs, spending a fortune on food, or wasting a lot of time. You'll discover which fats to eat and which to avoid. Although most fats are healthy, some are deadly, especially the number one most common cooking oil you must stop using today. It can cause runaway inflammation in your joints and trigger heart attacks. You'll also discover how to make healthy choices, a no-brainer, by insulin-proofing your kitchen and pantry. And here's something fun. You get to toss out, or at least never buy again, any carton, tub, or package with the words no fat, low fat, or light on the label. Say goodbye to fat-free cottage cheese forever. You'll also discover how to satisfy your sweet tooth with a sweetener that's 300% sweeter than sugar and that's safe to enjoy. Most artificial sweeteners are nothing more than toxic junk. I'll show you which ones to avoid and the two that are safe. The Miracle Noodle that has 0 calories and doesn't spike blood sugar. Your pasta days are not over. Which kind of oils give you quick, healthy energy? For example, did you know that coconut oil is a medium-chain fatty acid that mimics the quick energy of carbohydrates? You can dip some of this tropical treat in your coffee, or even lick it off a spoon for a fast pick-me-up. I'll show you which 2 kinds of coconut oil to look for. You'll also see the tasty nut butter snacks I use for hunger emergencies. These treats are small enough to slip into my purse or glove compartment. My favorite flavor is maple almond. An ancient religious practice that's been shown to lower insulin resistance, increase growth hormone, burn fat, and lower fasting insulin levels without an ounce of exercise. And a trunk full more of everyday strategies and tips, like the 9 ingredients you should have in stock at all times, that together will flip your blood sugar switch to on for the rest of your life. Now, how fast can you expect to see results? Most of my patients using the Smart Blood Sugar Plan notice almost immediate changes, if not overnight, then in the first few days. Usually the first change is in their mood and energy levels. They're no longer members of the 3 p.m. zombie brigade. Suddenly they can focus all day. And after about a week, you might look down and notice a slimmer waistline. Many of my patients report fat loss of 3 to 7 pounds in the first week. How's that for a side effect? Next, as the weeks go by, blood tests for glucose levels begin to show improvement as your cells begin to recover from insulin resistance. The amount of improvement depends on several factors, including how closely you follow the plan. But I've had many patients who have reduced their drug prescriptions or even eliminated them completely, like my patient Renee C., who wrote to me, "I have also stopped taking 2 other medications I was on. I have lost 30 pounds and lowered my glucose levels by 20 points. Or Scott T., who told me, "I feel better today than I have in over 10 years. I have been amazed at the mental clarity, energy, and focus. Plus the 20 pounds and 7+ inches off my waist is an added bonus." And Frauke B., who came to me with complaints of extreme fatigue, digestive issues, and yo-yoing weight that she just couldn't keep off. At her first appointment, I put her on my Smart Blood Sugar Plan. In the first 7 days, she lost 8 pounds. To date, she's lost almost 40 pounds. And she's no longer fighting constant fatigue. Frauke says, "I have such a different outlook. It's been awesome." The biggest surprise? Frauke says, "Eating real fats, butter, oil, bacon, I have never considered that could work so well because then you're satisfied." And the plan has been completely easy, according to Frauke. It helps that she gets to indulge in her favorite treat, German black bread smothered in butter and topped with a nice, sharp cheese. And she says, "As long as I can have that bread with butter and cheese, I'm good." Look, I'm not promising to reverse your blood sugar problems or your diabetes overnight. These problems weren't made in a day, and they won't be unmade in a day, and to claim anything else would just be dishonest. But I do believe that our bodies possess the ability to heal themselves. We just have to get out of their way and give them the building blocks they need. That's what Smart Blood Sugar does. And it does this at a price so low, it's almost free. In fact, in just a moment, you'll see how to get its life-changing benefits without paying a penny. Now, if you were to come to my wellness center, you'd be looking to spend anywhere from $360 to $550 for a series of visits to help you succeed on this plan. The first visit alone costs $150, and even then, we couldn't cover everything that Smart Blood Sugar reveals. So it seems fair to price Smart Blood Sugar at $150. And although I think that's a great value for what it can do for you, you won't pay that today, because I want to make sure I can help as many people as possible. After all, I believe diabetes and the diseases it leads to are a national epidemic that can be completely avoided, and I'm on a mission to help make this a reality. Plus, by watching this video to the end, you've proven that you're committed to learning how to cure your blood sugar problems. So I want to make that an easy decision right now, because time just isn't on our side when it comes to unhealthy blood sugar.
That's why I'm slashing over $100 off that price, so you make a one-time payment of just $27. Yes, just $27. That's less than you'd pay for a dinner for two at a nice restaurant. And here's something you'll really appreciate. With your order, I'm going to include a free complimentary subscription to my monthly newsletter, Dr. Merritt's Natural Health Connections. That's right, when you order my Smart Blood Sugar Guidebook today, you'll get my newsletter, which is itself regularly $47 a year, absolutely free. Here's the advantage. First, you'll receive my guidebook at your home or office, which will show you step-by-step how to implement my natural blood sugar solution. And then you'll get my support and guidance in the newsletter each month for a full year, and that will help you stay on track for success. Thousands have succeeded with this simple plan, and I know you can too. This is your chance to fix your blood sugar problems naturally, starting today before they do any more damage to your body.
And it's the best chance you have, in my opinion, of avoiding or reversing full-blown diabetes and all of its nasty complications like blindness and amputations. Plus, you build an iron shield against diseases like cancer and Alzheimer's. For all that, I think $27 is an extreme bargain. I would have gladly paid 10 times this amount for this plan 10 years ago. It would have saved me a bundle of time learning how to heal my blood sugar by following a step-by-step plan. And let me make this decision even easier. I don't want you to risk a penny of your money. After all, you and I haven't met in person, shaken hands in my office, or at one of my many lectures across the country, so I completely understand if you feel a little iffy about handing your money to a stranger. No offense taken. I'd feel the same way. So that's why I make the following promise. If you aren't satisfied with Smart Blood Sugar for any reason whatsoever, even if you don't like the colors on your membership page, then just ask for a refund in the next 60 days and you get all your money back. This means you can try it out risk-free. 60 days is more than enough time to see if it's working for you, I promise. And if it doesn't work or you don't like it, simply send an email to support@smartbloodsugar.com and we'll reverse the charges on your credit card payment. Or you can call 1-877-755-4904 and get your money back right away.
In other words, my natural solution works for you or it's free. So what's to lose? Nothing but your blood sugar problem. The next step is to click on Order Smart Blood Sugar below. Once you do, you'll be taken to our secure order form that looks like this. It uses the most secure socket layer 120-bit encryption, so your credit card and personal information are safe. Once your order is processed, you'll go right to your members' webpage, where you'll get immediate access to the Smart Blood Sugar Guide and all its life-changing information, which you can easily download to your computer and start reading right away. We'll also rush a hard copy of Smart Blood Sugar to your home so you can read it in your favorite armchair or even in bed at night. And remember, when you order today, you'll also get a free 12-month complimentary subscription to my newsletter, Dr. Merritt's Natural Health Connections. I believe your body has the ability to naturally heal itself if you just give it the basic building blocks of good health, while also eliminating a few things that may be hurting your health. In my newsletter, I regularly talk about delicious fatty foods that help lower blood sugar while helping you lose weight, missing nutrients you can replace that will bring back your energy, the importance of getting proteins. Yes, you can enjoy juicy steaks again. Drugs that do more harm than good, and they're much better natural alternatives. Misinformation in the media, and even in your doctor's office, that leads to poor health. Simple exercises you can do in minutes at home that will keep you fit and healthy. Best of all, you get full access to the guidebook, my newsletter, and all the bonus reports from any computer anywhere. Because I want you to heal your blood sugar as fast as possible, I will also set up your membership page to give you immediate access to 5 bonuses, a combined value of $89.95 for free. Let me tell you about these bonuses really quickly because they are designed to make following the Smart Blood Sugar Plan easy and automatic. First up, you get a complete 7-day meal plan sold separately for $19.99 with breakfast, lunch, and dinner for each day. That's 21 meals in all, each one designed to flip your blood sugar switch to on. As you probably know, making a plan automatic is the fastest way to victory. And that's why we've taken the hassle out of recipe hunting and converting your old recipes out of the equation with this 7-day meal plan. You'll get delicious meals that are formulated to reverse insulin resistance. Each recipe is complete with simple instructions, and most of them take less than 30 minutes to prepare. And to make this even easier, you'll also get a complete shopping list for all these 21 meals that's valued at $9.99. That means you only need to run to the grocery store once to get stocked up for your week. Again, Smart Blood Sugar is designed to be easy to follow with the least amount of friction points, and saving several grocery trips is part of making it easy. And when the 7 days is out, well, you'll discover a way to get fresh meal plans available to new members delivered on a weekly basis. You can learn more about this on your members page. And in the meantime, you get the help of your next bonus, the 99 Foods to Lower Blood Sugar, a $24.99 guide showing you the abundance of delicious foods that are safe for your blood sugar, so you always have your go-to ingredients on hand, which means you are never staring at an empty fridge that can lead to unhealthy choices. And when you go shopping for these foods, you'll be glad to have your next bonus, How to Tell the Truth from Food Labels, a value of $14.99. It will show you the secret to being an ingredient detective the next time you pull a package from the grocery shelf. You'll suddenly spot the sneaky wording that food manufacturers use to hide insulin-spiking ingredients. And the next bonus is one of my favorites, the Smart Alcohol Guide, valued at $19.99. I'll show you how to enjoy a drink even while repairing your blood sugar. I'll show you which kinds of wines and spirits spike your insulin and by how much. This will allow you to make smart choices the next time you enjoy your favorite cocktail. As you can see, Smart Blood Sugar is more than just a step-by-step guide, as valuable as that is. I want you to have the complete tool chest for lowering your blood sugar at your fingertips, and that's exactly what you'll get at your membership page. The 99 Foods that Lower Blood Sugar, $24.99. The Smart Blood Sugar Guide to Alcohol, $19.99. The 7-Day Meal Plan, $19.99. The 7-Day Meal Plan Shopping List, $9.99. How to Tell the Truth from Food Labels, $14.99. And don't forget, you also receive a complimentary free subscription to my newsletter, Dr. Merritt's Natural Health Connections, a $47 value. And the Smart Blood Sugar Guide itself, not $150, but $27, for a total value of $286.95. All for just $27 today. So if you're ready to lower your blood sugar the natural way and get full support for the next 12 months, simply click I Want Smart Blood Sugar below. This is the fastest way to get well and enjoy a healthy new freedom. Let's get started. Still here? Let me answer some frequently asked questions. Does Smart Blood Sugar mean I have to avoid carbs completely? Nope. You haven't seen your last donut. With Smart Blood Sugar, you'll learn how to eat carbs in moderation. You actually have to track very little. I'll show you a list that takes up about a page of which carbs you need to watch and which ones you don't. Note, this doesn't mean you have to avoid them completely. Just be smart about enjoying them in moderation. The great news is this means that you don't have to count calories anymore because you're watching your carb intake. Your calorie consumption doesn't matter as much. Does Smart Blood Sugar cure type 1 diabetes? Type 1 diabetes is when your pancreas does not produce any insulin at all. And while lowering your glucose load is tremendously helpful, and this is what you'll learn in Smart Blood Sugar, it won't by itself regenerate the beta cells in the pancreas that produce insulin. But what it will do is teach you how to reduce your carb load so that you don't need so much insulin in your injections, which in turn will keep you from getting the illnesses that plague diabetics of both types: total kidney failure, blindness from retinopathy,
and the permanent loss of a foot or a leg to amputation. Okay, how about type 2 diabetes? Does smart blood sugar really cure that? Technically, the medical profession doesn't allow for type 2 diabetes to be cured. Instead, when all the symptoms are gone, it is said to be in remission, even if that remission lasts a lifetime. And yes, the protocol in smart blood sugar can put type 2 diabetes into remission. Can I still drink milk and eat cheese? Yes. Unlike some blood sugar plans out there, you can still drink milk and cream, eat cheese, and enjoy butter. Is it expensive to eat this way? Surprisingly, no. It's true that some of the ingredients I recommend cost more than cheap manufactured goods that flood the aisles of our supermarkets, but this is offset by the smaller amount of food you end up buying. Remember that fat makes you full, so you will spontaneously begin to eat less because you want to, not because you have to. Plus, by reducing the amount of packaged manufactured food, you'll end up saving money. So I think you'll be surprised by the change in your grocery bill. What about exercise? Does smart blood sugar help with that? Well, like the word diet, let's not use the E word. For too many people, exercise means hard, grueling, boring work like 60-minute cardio sessions on a treadmill. Just thinking about that makes me shudder. Instead, when you move like I do, you get to slash your workout time considerably. You'll get access to a set of brief but stimulating workouts that quickly burn the stored glucose in your muscle cells. So the next time you go to eat, you get to replenish this energy and not add to fat stores. Brief, intense workouts are also a lightning-fast way to reduce insulin resistance and flip your blood sugar switch to on. Because study after study shows that high-intensity exercise is the fastest way to reverse diabetes and insulin resistance. So you don't want to leave this powerful tool on the table. But again, we're talking about just minutes a day, nothing crazy. I'll show you a workout plan you can do in just 7 minutes. Even if you can't move around much because of an injury, you'll find workouts that fit your needs. And now I want to reveal my 60-second cheat tip for enjoying decadent desserts that I promised to show you. It's fast and fun. And you can do it at home, at a restaurant, or even in an airplane bathroom. Ready? Here it is. The very next time you eat a cupcake or other sugary treat, and you're worried about spiking your blood sugar and insulin, I want you to do this. Simply excuse yourself and take a quick trip to the bathroom or bedroom. And spend just 60 seconds on a micro workout that engages a large muscle group like your legs. I recommend doing some air squats or lunges. You'll see how to do these in your membership area. This will burn the stored glucose in your muscles, causing those muscle cells to be hungry for the extra glucose from your dessert. This is an instant way to reverse insulin resistance. What about supplements? Another way I help my patients is by guiding them to the right nutritional supplementation. And in Smart Blood Sugar, I share what I've learned in my research. I personally use supplements because I know it's not possible to get everything I need from the foods I eat. Our modern food, even the non-GMO organic variety, isn't the same as it used to be because of over-farming and soil depletion, and some foods are just hard to come by or are too expensive. So I'll show you the natural ingredients that have been shown by actual lab studies to lower insulin resistance, lower fasting blood sugar, and help block sugar cravings, like the leaf from the Philippines that assisted in a 30% drop in fasting blood sugar for type 2 diabetics in just 2 weeks. Are you a real person? Yes, I really do live in Texas where I operate a wellness center alongside my husband, Dr. Will Mitchell. We both practice natural medicine, which combines proven healing methods with the latest scientific research to address the total health of the person. I have a master's degree in Oriental medicine, and I have been licensed as a doctor of Oriental medicine by both the Texas State Board of Medical Examiners and the New Mexico Board of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine. I also have a master's degree in nutrition, along with certifications in both nutrition and bariatric counseling. Still not sure? Remember that you get your entire purchase price back if you're not happy with Smart Blood Sugar, so you've got nothing to lose. Click I Want Smart Blood Sugar below, and I'll see you inside.